Knowing what I know now, if I was to take that knowledge back to when I first started my accounting practice, what would I have done differently? The first thing I would have done is I would have picked a niche, an industry niche. Now, knowing what I know now, I would pick professional services because I've built a whole lot of IP about how to really drive businesses in that space. If you're in that position, and a lot of accountants I talk to are looking at that, either niching the whole business if they're starting from scratch, or potentially having a specialty in their business, you want to really make sure there's three things aligned. So if you looked at a Venn diagram, or you might know a Venn diagram, it's sort of got those three overlapping circles. In the first one, you need to be able to bring some type of expertise or value to that industry. So if you want to specialize working with lawyers, but you've got know nothing about how legal practices work, maybe not the best niche to pick. Okay, but if you've got some sort of know-how or you can quickly learn and attain some know-how, that's going to be the first starting point. You need to bring something. The second one is you need to actually like the people in that space. So you might have a lot of IP to really help drive legal practices, but if you don't like lawyers, it's going to be a little bit difficult to really excel in that area. So you've got to bring some expertise in IP. You've got to like the people that you're going to choose to work with. But the third thing is they need to have the capability to pay you. So if you've done a really good job of building out what you're going to deliver to them, so the compliance and the business advisory services or business development services, but they don't have the capability to pay for those things that you've built, it's going to be a little bit hard for you to transact. So to give you an example, let's look at hospitality. They've generally got very tight margins. So if you build out some mega product, there's only going to be such a little few that could afford it. So they don't generally have the capability then to pay. So I would have niched in professional services. What I then would have done was I would have got really clear on my product offering. So you might think, but we're accountants, we do accounting. Well, just because you're an accountant and you run an accounting practice doesn't mean you need to do what everyone else does. There's no set formula, this is what you get. So I would have got clear on, yes, we've got to do compliance in the books and all of the above in the compliance area, but more so in the business development area, I would have got really clear on the product offering and I would have tailored it to professional services because that would do a few things. Number one, business development services really are focused on solving those problems that, in my case, professional services have, which is really about where they are and where they're going. It's around goal setting and planning exercises. It's around really helping them with cash flow and future gazing so they can make better decisions. And a third one would probably be around some type of accountability. So regular catch-ups, set some goals, hold them to account, and give them a little bit of mentoring, share a little bit of your smarts in that exercise. So I would have got really clear on the product offering and I would have made that a core part of the clients that we bring on. So they're coming on with compliance services plus a number of business development services. Third thing I would have done was I would have hired a gun tax accountant right at the start. So I guess I'm strong in doing things like this and doing sales and marketing and business development. I would have brought a tax person on to head up that team from the get-go. So when I'm talking with clients and prospective clients, I can set the expectation that I won't be the one doing tax. John or Mary over here heads up. He's our head of tax, they're our tax manager. They're infinitely better at tax and love it to bits. That's the person that you want working on your tax. And that then leads into the fourth dot point, which is I would have outsourced compliance a lot quicker. I did do it, but I probably took a little bit longer and I probably don't even really have a good enough excuse as to why I probably took a couple of years before I dipped my toe in the water there. So if I put on a gun tax accountant sooner, someone that had good capability to work with clients and solve problems, someone that's obviously an expert in that space, but someone that's got a little bit of managerial know-how, or they're the type of person that would be a good manager, they can then use the outsourcing solution or supplier or team to allow them to scale. But then when we need to take on another tax person, they've got the managerial experience to bring someone in under them. So we've niched, I would have got clear on the products that I'm offering, would have brought on a gun tax person real quick, I would have brought on an outsourcing solution really quick. Number 5, I love this one. I would have charged for everything, okay? Especially from the start. A lot of accountants that are watching this right now, you're nodding your head going, yep, we know what you're talking about. We, as accountants, do and have done so much and not charged for it. We really don't want to think about it. So I really would have got clear from the start, this is how we work. Yes, we charge for everything. You don't walk into the supermarket and take what you want off the shelf and say, no, I don't pay for that because I came in earlier in the week and did some shopping and paid you $200, so surely I can come and grab some bananas for free. It doesn't work like that. If you want to go and buy a bunch of bananas, then you're paying for a bunch of bananas. So clear on charging for everything. We're not a charity. Number 7, events. Educational and entertainment events. So myself, from the start, I would have run more events that I hosted, whether I'm the one talking and presenting or I'm hosting the event, but I'm getting an expert in. It could be a marketing expert, it could be a HR expert, it could be someone in the industry, but just acting as that host. Also hijacking events and going and speaking at other people's events. So I say hijacking because they really do all the work. You just show up and talk, and if you do a good enough job, add value and impress the crowd, and the crowd are in your niche, well, you've got a great opportunity now to position yourself, open some conversations, and potentially win a little bit of work. The other one was entertainment events. So that's really just having a bit of fun. Breakfasts, networking, drinks, maybe getting some seats at the football, the Grand Prix. If there's a movie that might come out of the cinema, a business related movie or something in your niche, you might rent the whole cinema, so entertainment type ideas. I would have done a few more of them. 7th one would have been digital. So doing things like this, sitting in front of a camera, preparing and delivering content, being prolific at it, and probably spending a little bit on online advertising. Okay, so you look at things like Facebook ads are still quite underpriced nowadays. Go back 7 or 8 years ago, they were well, and a lot of other platforms were well underpriced. So it would have been better at promoting a lot of events, promoting a lot of offers, creating a lot of awareness, etc. So they're the 7 things. Niche down in the industry, clear on the product offering, bring a really good tax person on a lot quicker, bring on an outsourcing solution to sit under that tax person, charge for everything, run a lot more events. I've only got better at talking and running events over the years, and practice just makes you a little bit better. And a little bit more of an investment into digital, but probably not trying to learn it all myself. There's a saying I like, which is, don't get good at the little things, don't get good at the little chores, because that will keep you little. So there's the 7 things I would have done differently. I hope one of them might apply to you, where you might think, we probably need to do a bit of focus on that. And if you do, just make sure you go and do it.